Greg McDermott, we'll start with an opening statement.
Yeah, it goes without saying the start of the game was the difference in the game. Some blown coverages defensively that allowed Nate Watson to get rolling. And then as he got rolling, obviously the foul trouble added up on us. And, trying to play through Christian and Ryan's foul trouble was difficult. We had some strange lineups out there at times, and it was hard for us to match up with their size and physicality. I was happy that we didn't quit. I was happy that we kept fighting, both in the first half when we got behind big, and then when they created a little separation the second half, we got it back to a possession game where we had some opportunities. And but we've got to get better. There's no question. We just as you look at. Mitch and Denzel struggled shooting the basketball, and then the two guys we bring off the bench, and Alex and Antoine, what is that, 3 for 26 between the four of them? Like, we're lucky to be in the game, and I think they had, for the most part, decent looks, and we're going to struggle to win if we have that many guys have a poor offensive night at the same time.
All right, we've got Coach along with Damien Jefferson. If you've got a question, use the raised hand feature. We'll start with Matt DeMarinis.
Yeah, I guess my first one to DJ, how would you characterize that first 8 minutes from an effort and energy standpoint on your guys' part?
I would say we didn't have a lot of effort at all. I feel like you said, the first 8 minutes, they punked us out. And whenever a team come in your house and punk you out for the first 8 minutes of the game, it's hard. It's going to be hard for getting back into the game. So they came back in the game. I mean, they started the game well, and we started off bad, and it wasn't good enough.
John Niatawa.
It's always probably tough to explain because you don't expect it, but I wonder, Damien, why do you think you guys weren't fully hooked up as you needed to be to start this one?
I feel like it's not a reason to why. I feel like we just went out there and we wasn't ready for what they had coming. They threw the ball up and they just got their own misses and they just out rebounded us. And whenever a team coming in your house and out rebound you 42 to 34, it's gonna be tough to win that game. Especially like Coach Mack said, when you got guys struggling, making shots and stuff like that. So it's gonna be hard.
Anna.
I've got a question for Coach Mack. What was the readjustment at halftime? What was the message to the team at that half?
Well, the message was I was pleased that we had enough fight to get back in the game. We had addressed we had addressed the start of the game and a couple timeouts in the first half, so we didn't need to revisit that. And then it was just really challenging the starters to put something together to start that second half. And unfortunately, they scored on 7 of their first 8 possessions and took a 5-point game and stretched it out to 13 during that stretch in time. So, and a lot of those baskets were, down around the rim. So, again, we fought after that. We got back in the game and gave ourselves an opportunity. It just, we more points off turnovers. We're even on points in the paint, even on second chance points. The fast break points, I think, ended up being a difference because I think a couple of those were off poor shots on our part where you don't have a chance to get your defense set, and then a couple turnovers that led to runouts on their part as well. And that, in a game like this, it's going to be a rock fight anytime you play Providence, especially when they've been sitting there a week, getting ready for us. You can't have those empty possessions.
John?
Greg, you guys did a pretty good job on Nate Watson that first meeting. What did they do differently? I know you mentioned maybe some old assignments early to get him going, but he was kind of their go-to guy when it got tight there at the end. What did they do to find ways to get him free?
Yeah, I mean, he's so big and he's so strong, and they have enough shooting with Duke and Reeves that you have to respect that. And we were late to some help at times. We dove through some help at times instead of being there and just meeting him and then allowing his man to come back and make a play on the basketball. But he's a load. He's a really, really good player and had a heck of a game tonight. And especially once we got some guys in foul trouble, You try not to be tentative when you have 2 fouls in the first half or 3 fouls right after halftime. But obviously human nature is you do a little bit of that. But
Matt?
Mac, would you take a Marcus in his first game back? And did he was he on any kind of a minutes restriction at all, or did you think he looked pretty good?
I wasn't planning on playing him 36 minutes, but Sharif's ankle's just not great, and I think you could see it when he was out there. He can't. He's having a hard time moving on that foot and pushing off that foot. So I tried to take him out a couple times, and he waved me off. So he felt like he was good. But he did some good things. Obviously took care of the basketball, only 1 turnover against that pressure. Had some decent looks at the basket a few times, and they didn't go in. A couple things. I think when things are good, they're never quite as good as they seem, and when they're bad, they're never quite as bad as they seem. And when I look at this film, I'm going to see some shots that were missed that are pretty good shots for us. And I'm going to see some fight to keep us in the game when we're not making shots. But the problem is, in a game like this, when you're not making shots and you're playing a team that plays the physical nature of play that Providence does, mistakes are magnified. And we've got to try to clean as many of those up, because when you get in a game like this, your margin for error is really small when that ball's not going in the basket.
Joe?
It's a fairly quick turnaround to the Saturday morning tip against UConn, but is that even an issue? Do you feel like what went wrong is more conversation related than actually needing multiple practices?
Yeah, we've got a lot of older guys, and one of them sitting up here next to me, and DJ was terrific again. He's bringing a lot of energy to the team on both ends of the floor, and his effort is obvious. I think they know what they need to fix, and it's going to have to be done more mentally than probably physically, because as you look at the box score, we had 3 guys play 36 and Denzel played 32. So we've got some pretty heavy legs coming off that game Saturday, and then an overtime game, and then have to turn around with a quick one on Saturday morning. So I trust these guys. I think they believe in each other. They know that we believe in them still. We've had a rough stretch here, and we've had to fight through some adversity with some injuries, and we just got to keep our chins up and keep forging forward.
I've got time for a couple more questions. We'll start with John.
Greg, is Jacob on the mend a little bit here?
Yeah, just got some issues with the other knee right now, so we've got some decisions to make on how we're going to proceed. And he and I will discuss that here the next couple days. But until he's healthy and feels good, we can't put him out there.
Matt?
Hey, just one last one for DJ. I guess you guys have a lot of experience in that locker room there, so the conversations you guys have with each other, I think you probably won't mature, because you can talk to each other in a certain way and it's not personal. But in terms of playing these kind of 30-minute games and putting yourselves in situations where you get beat by a certain stretch, what types of conversations do you think you guys are going to have in the coming days here to kind of shore that up, just based on your experience of dealing with that type of situation in the past?
Just like Coach Mack said, it's just mental conversations and how we can fix those things, because we know just going out there, man, we can beat anybody, man. And so just have those conversations and just what we need to fix within that first 5, and what we can do, like you said, with having that experienced group, and we just gotta stick together and just figure it out. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about, figuring it out, and it starts with us.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll see you Saturday.
Thanks.